Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy. Thank you for joining me for another live tarot session on a beautiful day today, August 23rd. Thank you so much, all, for joining me. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Let's give a shout out to everyone here in the chat. Steve McQueen, much love. Good to see you, Valerie. Happy Venus Day. Good to see you, Kari. Much love. All right. Good to see you, Christy. Good to see you, D-Love. All right. Taz, good morning. Good to see you, Christy. Much love. Nikosmas, good to see you. Amazing. Good to see you, Gandhi. Good evening, Geronimo. Good evening, Chakra Queen. Good to see you, Leslie Salini. Hi, Foundations. Must love. All right. Amazing, amazing. Okay. What a beautiful day. So let's start by talking about some of our astrology here. So we have the sun in Virgo. We have entered into the harvest season. It is all beginning and it is beautiful and magical. And we have that sun right now in Aries. And we're in that void course, which is that time when we're seeing the transition, when the moon is moving from Aries into Taurus. It's a beautiful moment, right? The sun in Virgo, this is that time of action, of preparation, of getting ready for the coming winter, of being in that analytical mindset, of self-refinement and of practicality, of striving for perfection, of believing in the self and being organized and being thorough and doing the work necessary to prepare for cyclical change and to overcome cyclical change. That's that Virgo energy. And we also have the incredible energy of Moon in Aries, right? And about to enter Taurus. Moon in Aries is this incredible, fiery, actionable energy, right? We can shine that light. We can move. We can see to the depths of our soul. We can know what we truly want and desire, and we can put it into movement. We can connect with the sun in Virgo, and we can allow our emotions to rise up and to inspire and to help us in that action. And with that Virgo, we have the ability to organize and do the work necessary to bring about these desires, these internal beliefs, these internal things, right? So it's a beautiful moment. And as the moon transitions to Taurus, we're going to see things become more slow. We're going to start to be more in that practical energy, but in that stubborn energy, in that slow refining energy, in that building energy, right? Taurus is all about the family. It's all about practicality, but it's also this energy of slowing down, where Aries has this movement, Taurus has this slow trudge. Think of the bull, right? Think of the bull. It moves with deliberation, right? Beautiful. And that's the moment we're entering in. And this morning when I was meditating and I was thinking on the cards and I pulled the deck, I drew that beautiful Queen of Wands, right? The most inspiring and fiery of the queens, that muse, right? Beautiful, powerful energy. When I see her, I always think Circe, the daughter of Helios or granddaughter of Helios in some versions. But powerful energy nonetheless. And when I was seeing this energy, I saw about embodying this, right? Becoming this inspiring person, being this confident energy who can persist and pursue their dreams and has the power to transform the world around them just through their beauty and through their actions and through their way, and that's the energy we're trying to embody. We're trying to be that one who pursues their will, but does it with grace and elegance and in flow with that queen energy, right? And I wanted to read for you guys a really fun poem. It's called Excelsior. It's by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The shades of night were falling fast as through an alpine village passed a youth who bore mid snow and ice a banner with strange device, Excelsior. His brow was sad, his eye beneath flashed like a falchion from its sheath, and like a silver clarion run, the accents of that unknown tongue. Excelsior. In happy homes he saw the light of household fires gleam warm and bright. Above the spectral glacier shone, and from his lips escaped a groan. Excelsior. Try not to pass, the old man said. Dark lowers the tempest overhead. The roaring torrent is deep and wide, and loud the clarion voice replied. Excelsior. Oh, stay, the maiden said, and rest thy weary head upon this breast. A tear stood in his bright blue eye, but still he answered with a sigh. Excelsior. Beware the pine tree's withered branch. Beware the awful avalanche. This was the peasant's last good night. A voice replied far up the height. Excelsior. At break of day as heavenward the pious monks of Saint Bernard uttered the oft-repeated prayer. A voice cried through the startled air. Excelsior. A traveler by the faithful hound, half buried in the snow, was found, still grasping in his hand of ice that banner with the strange device. Excelsior. There in the twilight cold and gray, lifeless but beautiful he lay, and from the sky serene and far a voice fell like a falling star. Excelsior. Intense and wild energy, that pursuit of the muse, that pursuit of the will, to strive for that which is higher, right? Excelsior is that Latin word for going to the higher level, but with this intensity and passion and striving. Excelsior, right? What we see is also recognized, though. It is that obsession energy on one hand, but it is that energy of fulfillment on the other. It's wild because within the Greek tradition, we see this, Think of the goddess Astrea, Virgo. Through her perfection and self-refinement, she sets herself ablaze and then achieves apotheosis, ascends to the stars and becomes a goddess, right? Or think of Hercules, who after the completions of his 12 labors, he achieves immortality. And then in order to achieve apotheosis, he's drugged and strapped to a spit and set ablaze. And his soul ascends to the stars and he too becomes a king, a god, right? And in some cases, Zeus himself. Excelsior. What is that will worth? What is your desire worth? In that, it's just something interesting to think on, that pursuit, Beautiful. All right. We're going to start today's sortes of Cosmogonic Eros by Ludwig Klages. And for those of you who don't know, sortes is a form of bibliomancy, that is divination through literature, where we ask the muses, the goddesses of inspiration, to guide our hand and to send us a message through the text. So here we go. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Ludwig Klages and Cosmogonic Eros? And now let us reflect on what the temples were originally. They were not devotional spaces for the community as with Christian cathedrals. Instead, they were the houses of the gods, and accordingly were such places where revering believers were capable of seeing the gods and really did behold them at the sight of their idols. The nature of daimonic forces was for the pagan so very much the same as the ability to appear that the preferred definition of theon, the godly, derives from theaton, the visible. For this reason, he called, and that is Emperor Julian, Jews and Christians atheoi, despisers of the gods. And rightly so, as they had elevated the spirit to a god's negating God, the invisible principle of image-hating will. This is just so profound. And this is why I love Klages so much. And now let us reflect on what the temples were originally. They were not devotional spaces for the community as with the Christian cathedrals. Instead, they were the houses of the gods, and accordingly were such places where revering believers were capable of seeing the gods and really did behold them at the sight of their idols, right? The eidolon, that image, you know. The nature of the daimonic forces was for the pagan so very much the same as the ability to appear that the preferred definition of theon, the godly, is theaton, the visible. Wow. This image of the statue of the idol of the, keeps coming up again and again in our sorteses here, And then this part is just wild. For this reason, he, Emperor Julian, called Jews and Christians atheoi, despisers of the gods, and rightly so, as they had elevated the spirit to a god's negating God, the invisible principle of image-hating will. Right? They're atheists because they reject the visible. They reject the image. They reject the muses in that pursuit of beauty. They reject this ideal that through the power of the daimonic, we can perceive the beautiful in the natural world, right? That beauty persists in the world, and through that we can connect to the gods, right? The idol is not the god. The idol is the image of the god. It is that daimonic bridge, right? It's beautiful. It is and it isn't. It's this wildness, right? You're seeing the God through the perception of the physical matter. And that's a beautiful, magical, transcendent thing. And it is the essence of the pagan tradition, the imagistic tradition, the polytheistic tradition, And it's beautiful. That pursuit of beauty, and through that aesthetic experience, through the images, through perception and the utilization of that faculty of reason, we can come to the feet of the gods and experience that knowledge, right? Wow. Oh, Clauges. All right. We are now going to go to the Voodoo Quantum Leap. All right. This is by Reginald Crosley. This is a beautiful book. Dr. Crosley is an initiated Voodoo priest he's originally from Haiti, so he grew up in the religion, and he has been initiated into several different voodoo related societies, both African and Haitian, and just a brilliant man, from both a Western perspective and an African perspective. So this is going to be really great. So let's see, what is the message from Dr. Crosley? Use this, guide my hand. Inspire us this evening. It is a fact of life or existence that every species in biology, every race of the human species, every nation, clan, or tribe, institution, religion, philosophy, or ideology will branch out into multiple parallel variants that are alike, parallel universes. In the post-mortem vision of the religions of the world, the afterlife abode exists as parallel universes. They exist within the boundary of established by the immanent dimension. Wow. It is a fact of life or existence that every species in biology, every race of the human species, every nation, clan, or tribe, institution, religion, philosophy, or ideology will branch out into multiple parallel variants that are alike, parallel universes. In the post-mortem vision of the religions of the world, the afterlife abode exists as parallel universes. The problem is that in all likelihood, those believers will be stuck with the reality they have created, unless the fiat of the Supreme Being transforms the realities into something of his own choice or liking. Wow, there we have the problem, right? Most people are bound and subjected to their own images or lack of images, right? And this is what we're seeing at the heart of a lot of this egregoric magic, this ideological driven magic. It is to disconnect you from the self, from your body, right? To disconnect you from your own true ego, right? Your own worlds of perception and reality, and to make you strive and transform your will into an image of another, into an image of a singular destructive force, a controlling force, right? To bind and subject you and to control others, right? Oof. Oh, gosh. What this is all about, though, really is about this idea of when you create something, it's ever going to expand and evolve in ever-growing multiplicity, if it can. And it will ever branch out and evolve and create new parallel variants and realities, right? This is the nature of the ever-expansive change of our reality. This is how ideas are born. This is how verities exist. We exist in multiplicity, in the experience of multiple perspectives, and we have to understand this. This is why something like monism or monotheism becomes such an issue, because it rejects the fractalization, right? It rejects the multiplicity of these different modes, But what we see is that everything is always expanding in trinities, right? Everything is trinities upon trinities upon trinities upon trinities, So it's one of these wild things. And we got to recognize that all of this kind of exists within the mind. And what he's suggesting is that these parallel universes already exist within your mind. They already exist within the natural world. So it is not a stretch to see them existing in some kind of quantum form as well. Now, what you make of that, you take for your own, right? That's some really deep philosophical wildness. But that's what he's getting at, If all of existence exists in this ever-expanding multiplicity, why would the universal form be any different, right? Anyway, let's continue. We're going to go to Goethe, Faust. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Goethe's Faust? Inspire us. "'Tis not the jewelry alone. She has an air, a glance so bright. A man must count it a delight to be allowed to linger near." A glance, right? This is beautiful because we're also seeing, a lot of the issues that people have with these imagistic traditions is because they do not understand the nature of this reception of images and the perception and the level, right? You must move from the erotic and the material and the vibrant to the sacred, right? There is a transition that happens, right? There's a tasting through the perception of the other. You see that reflection unfold. You see the image, right? And what we're seeing here, 'tis not the jewelry alone, but the jewelry is there, right? She has an air, a glance so bright. A man must count it a delight. You must be able to notice the true power in that vision. You must be able to see that power in what is happening, to be allowed to be in the presence of that muse, right? Wow. And to really see that beauty, it requires one to delight in it as well. And you are allowed to then linger near. Again, we're seeing in this realm, it's that eros of distance, right? Just a glance, like Radha and Krishna, right? Beautiful. All right, let's continue. We're now going to go to Arcana Mundi by George Luck. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Arcana Mundi? Revelation means the disclosure or uncovering of God's will through visions and dreams, but primarily through the initiative of God, not through a special technique or concerning one particular religion as a whole, or more narrowly, its mystic doctrine of the last things. In one sense, Judaism and Christianity are revealed religions. In another sense, their eschatology concerns an apocalypse, because it predicts the ultimate conflict between the supreme powers of good and the supreme powers of evil, with good prevailing. This type of religious thought may have been taken over by some Jews from Zoroastrianism, the ancient Persian state religion, and the tradition was continued by the early Christian church. Hermeticism, on the other hand, is a philosophy that was revealed to mankind by the Egyptian god Thoth, the equivalent of Hermes, and such occult sciences as alchemy and astrology were considered by their practitioners to be the gift of God. Thus, in later antiquity, the element of revelation distinguished religion from philosophy, occult science from science. It's interesting here, though. We have very different forms of apocalypse, right? In the Christian tradition, right, it is this prophetic revealing through literature, and it is that divine battle with good triumphing over evil, But what we see in the Hermetic tradition, right, it is the revealing of knowledge. It is the gift of that god Hermes, Hermes Trismegistus, bestowing magic upon society, showing us and teaching us the methodology of alchemy and astrology, right? And this eventually becomes the defining feature for what distinguishes religion from science, because we have to remember in the earliest times, a lot of science and religion were confounded. And the big distinction was this idea of, well, where did your knowledge come from? Is it reasoned? Can it be trusted back to reason? Or is it revealed? Interesting. Oh, well, I just looked down and I just want to read this because you'll see. The method of divination varied from shrine to shrine. Sometimes the will of the god was explored by the casting or drawing of lots, the claroi or the sortes, for example, dice or sticks or bones. The word sortilegus originally designated a soothsayer who practiced this particular method of divination, sortes legeri, to pick up the lots. Later, by extension, it referred to any type of prophecy or sorcery. It must be a very old technique because we see it being practiced at Claris, Paeneste, Antium, and throughout the Mediterranean. A later variant is the consultation of scrolls or books, also known as bibliomancy, by opening them at random or picking them with a needle. Homer, Virgil, the Bible, and the works of Plato were the obvious texts chosen. Interesting. We have that talk of what the sortes is and how it's this ancient tradition. And it's about the picking up, right? And that's that act of perception and choice. And this is the foundation of all divination, is that twofold power, right? On one hand, it is the perception and the sight and seeing. And then on the second hand, it is that act of choosing something at random, right? The act of invoking Fortuna, the randomness, that goddess of fortune herself, and allowing fortune to dictate the outcome, So it's that twofold, the masculine and the feminine contained in that form, right? To pick up the lot. To cut is implied. To perceive is implied, right? To set in stone. Wow. Interesting. And we see the earliest forms of the consultation with scrolls, right? Bibliomancy, Homer, Virgil, and the Bible. Love it. Amazing. We're continuing in a very ancient tradition. Very, 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 very ancient indeed. Okay. All right. We're now going to go to Don Juan in Hell. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Don Juan in Hell? Oop. The devil. I speak to the devil, said the old woman. Don Juan replies, in hell, senora, the devil is the leader of the best society. The devil, I speak to the devil. In hell, senora, the devil is the leader of the best society. Wow. And I have to continue because this goes on and this is just so beautiful. Okay. Old woman, I tell you, wretch, I know I am not in hell. Don Juan, how do you know? The old woman, because I feel no pain. Don Juan, oh, then there is no mistake. You are intentionally damned. The old woman, why do you say that? Don Juan, because hell, senora, is a place for the wicked. The wicked are quite comfortable in it. It was made for them. You tell me you feel no pain? I conclude you are one of those for whom hell exists. Oh my gosh. Too funny. Cute. Let's continue. All right. Shiva in the primordial tradition. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message? Inspire us this evening. From this point of view, human perception, the discernible intervals taken as a whole, and having a precise significance within an octave, including the bass sound and its octave, number 54 sounds deriving from different combinations of the factors 2, 3, and 5 within certain limitations. These 54 sounds form the vocabulary of all music. Oh, wow. This is where we get into some of the real, true, powerful magic that's going on in the Indian tradition. 2, 3, 5, 54, 108. You know? I'm going to read this whole paragraph. I originally was just reading the one part there, but I'm going to read this whole paragraph for you guys. It's a little dense, but it's wild. The factors 2, 3, and 5. The real substance of music, sound material formed by a set of sounds, utilizable and utilized in all music, is founded on harmonic progressions using the factors 2, 3, and 5 as a basis. If we study the basic structures of matter and the principles of life, we find the same numerical factors as in music. This is precisely why one can have an impact on the other. From the point of view of human perception, the discernible intervals taken as a whole and having a precise significance within an octave, including the bass sound and its octave, number 54. Sounds deriving from different combinations of the factors 2, 3, and 5 within certain limitations. These 54 sounds form the vocabulary of all music. Right? And it also gets into the mantra stuff because 54 is half of 108. 108 is the sacred number of the mantra, and that reduces to 9, which is the completion of a single cycle, right? 10 is the beginning of a new cycle, that absolute expression of fire, the totality of form. And contained within the Om is the vibration of all sound, all language. It's that expression of the 9. Beautiful. 2, 3, 5, 54 108. Amazing. You know, and anyone who's into percussion like me, 2, 3, and 5 is our bread and butter. It's like it's how I think about the universe. It's wild. All right. We're now going to go to Luther Blissett. Q. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Q? Excuse me. He makes a little skip as he sets off, already trying to gain some distance on me. And what else gives life its flavor? And what else gives life its flavor? Variety, right? Perspective, change, transformation, dancing and learning to flow. The connection too with that beat, right? With the 2, the 3, the 5. That heartbeat of the universe is you have to learn to harmonize with those vibrations, to sing within the beats. You know, it's like one of my favorite drum beats really puts this all home, and it's a traditional African beat. It's called a buru. So a buru beat is all about 2 opposing beats. So you start off with the heartbeat, and then you dance within the heartbeats. Beautiful, right? Amazing. Let's continue. Okay. Egyptian Tarot of Thelema. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Oliver St. John and Egyptian Tarot? Set is the most difficult god to pin down. His very nature forbids it. He is on the other side of wherever we happen to be in terms of consciousness. Thus, the Egyptians tended to think of Set as Mercury, the shapeshifter. In northerly locations, typical Setian totems are corvids, the raven, the crow, jackdaws, magpies, and other birds. The function of Set is dual. Firstly, Set veils the invisible in an infinite variety of forms. Secondly, he destroys the illusion of the appearance of things. Small wonder then that Set is not only first before the gods, but is also the most misunderstood of all the gods. The great trickster, right? Who obscures reality and cloaks reality in darkness. But he's also the great revealer. Wow. And as we know, right, Set is that magician energy. He is the ass, right? Hermes, Mercury. It's a beautiful, beautiful energy, right? And we always got to be weary. Part of the problem with the power of the magician of Set is a lot of people misunderstand or they come up short. The magician is both guard and revealer, right? And as so, you have to be able to prove that you are reasoned enough to have the veil removed. And the big thing with Hermes, with this energy is, do not pay attention to where he points. Pay no attention to his hands. You have to look behind him. Where is he direct? Like it's the magician's game. He is obfuscating, purposefully, obscuring, hiding. If you listen to him and you pay attention to the one hand, you miss what the other hand is doing and you fail to recognize the trick. You have to see where he's pointing, what is happening behind him. you know? See him from multiple perspectives. If you see Hermes straight on, you never see him. All right, let's continue. Byron, selected poetry and letters. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Lord Byron? Inspire us this evening. I'll tell you who they were, this female pair, lest they should seem princesses in disguise. Besides, I hate all mystery, and that air of claptrap which your recent poets prize, and in short, the girls they really were, they shall appear before your curious eyes, mistress and maid. The first was only daughter of an old man who lived upon the water. Oh, interesting. I'll tell you who they were, this female pair, lest they should seem princesses in disguise. Besides, I hate all the mystery and that air of claptrap, which your recent poets prize. Weren't we not just talking about this? Weren't we just talking about this energy of Hermes obscuring the vision, right? Making you see gold where there is no gold, right? Oh God. Of claptrap, which your recent poets prize. And so in short, the girls they really were, they shall appear before your curious eyes, mistress and maid. The first was only daughter of an old man who lived upon the river. Wow. What if the great queen, great power, the goddess, wasn't a goddess at all, wasn't actually related to Poseidon? Poseidon was just an old man on the river. It's just interesting. You know, you have to, part of the magical tradition is learning to walk in paradox, right? Is learning to move between and to try to see things from multiple perspectives and to be able to practice that power of doubt, right? Agnosticism is the true perception of the magician because we have, there's nothing to go on. We got to embody that fool energy, learn to laugh and take the leap, right? See what happens. All right, let's continue. Okay, we're going to go to the Jaguar and the Priest. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from the Jaguar and the Priest? Like most shamans in Cancun or Cancun, Zun began to practice relatively late in life when his children were already grown up. He started when his eldest daughter became ill. At that time, he had a series of consecutive dreams, fairly stereotypical in their overall content, but necessary in order to be able to practice, because they are a sign of sacred license. In his dreams, there appeared before him in images that Zun compared with those of a film for cinema so that I could get a better idea. A man resembling a European with white skin and a beard on a very wide path. Without exchanging a word, the man gave Zun a thick volume with a red cover containing all the texts of the healing prayers. Not a single one was missing. Together with diagnostic techniques and some recipes for the preparation of medicinal herbs, shortly afterward, Zun attempted to cure his daughter and was successful. So he saw that his dream was true. He knew the prayers in the text thanks to his dream. Wow. There is so much here. How many of you have ever read the Secretum? The Secretum is a must read for anyone interested in this muse magic, okay? And to really truly understand how the muse works. The muse appears in the Secretum through a red book. Okay? Through a red book. And here we're seeing the same image, right? In his dreams, there appeared before him A man resembling a European with white skin and a beard on a wide path. Without exchanging a word, the man gave Zune a thick volume with a red cover containing all the text of the healing words. Not a single one was missing, together with diagnostic techniques. Wow. That muse-inspired word, that necromantic book, the revealing through... This reminds me of Asclepius, you know? Lots to think on. Lots to think on. I think we all should go back to Petrarch, though, in his red book. Well, Jung gets his red book from Petrarch, but Jung's red book is also quite good. There's a dragon seal in there, you know. Jung is a kind of a weirdo, but he did good research. Like Crowley, you know, like Crowley. All right. Snoo Wilson I. Crowley. Speaking of Crowley, this is a fun book. It's kind of a fun, you know, biography, but like fake autobiography. It's fun. All right, Muses, what is the message from I. Crowley? Later on, I tried till the blood flowed down to my armpits from all my fingers, but I was never able to find that particular ledge again. It was the most extraordinary business. You cannot go back and repeat the same. You must find a new way, right? If you fail to make the leap, going and backtracking it, well, you'll not find it that way. Ever forward, ever forward. Right? Trying to find the ledge to grip, to ascend the mountain, right? This is an interesting thing because this is an image we see throughout the Greco-Roman tradition. The ascending of the holy mountain, right? To being placed upon the stars once you reach the top. And Crowley was searching for the ledge to climb that mountain. And, you know, he was quite the mountain climber, Crowley. Quite the mountain climber. In fact, he wound up getting a bunch of Sherpas killed because he was reckless and crazy and racist. But, you know, that's Crowley. Wow. All right, let's continue. Entering the Desert by Craig Williams. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Craig Williams? Inspire us. It is not uncommon to see individuals in spiritual cultures ignore basic ideas of health, physical vitality, and nutrition. This is a troubling mirage, as the quality of nutrition determines the quality of the spaces of the corporeal and the mental. From the perspective of the desert gnosis, the physical body becomes an embodied soul-enthused sacrament. Therefore, the health of the body in all its expressions becomes a sacred priority. The mind and body are viewed as sacraments, which can potentially channel the radiations of the sacramental vision. This is an interesting thing because the other day we were talking about a lot with this food as well, because the muses keep telling us this about these different cultures that were abstaining from killing of animals, right? And then we were also having this discussion about those people who did reject health, right? We do see these traditions in which people enter into extremes. You know, some forms of Jainism, you know, the monastics will go through those extreme practices. Some sadhus will go through extreme practices. But what we're seeing here is a very different idea from Craig Williams. And Craig Williams is interesting. He is an initiated into a Vedic tradition, a Krishna tradition, I believe. And he is an Ayurvedic doctor as well, you know. The Indian traditions are incredibly varied, but I tend to side with Craig here. You know, the health is paramount. The body is your vehicle of reception. You know, it can be the greatest tool, you know, for experience. And if you treat it with disdain and you abuse it, you just hurt yourself and ruin your experience. You know, Health is of the utmost paramount. Healthy life will lead to far more realizations, will lead to far more just better flow, better everything. Right? Let's continue. All right. We're now going to go to the name of the rose. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from the name of the rose? I was surprised because it seemed to me the cellarer was answering the ritual questions with equally ritual words, as if he were well versed in the rituals of the investigation and its pitfalls, and had long been trained to face such an eventuality. The guardian of the cellar, who obscures your way and doesn't let you through, right? Who understands the rules of investigation and the pitfalls and doesn't tell you what you need to hear, is waiting for you to be able to answer correctly to get past them. We are seeing Hermes energy again, Cerberus energy. You need to know how to get past them and understand. You have to have the ears to hear, speaking in ritual codes, right? You have to be able to decipher the codes. Open sesame. Okay. We're now going to go to Edgar Allan Poe. All right, Muse, guide my hand. What is the message from Edgar Allan Poe? Inspire us this evening. The second chamber was purple in its ornaments and tapestries, and here the panes were purple. The third was green throughout, and so were the casements. The fourth was furnished and lighted with orange, the fifth with white, the sixth with violet. The seventh apartment was closely shrouded in black velvet, tapestries that hung all over the ceiling and down the walls, falling in heavy folds upon a carpet of the same material and hue. We're seeing the seven rays over stained glass windows. Wow. That's amazing. And violet is the final ray, the black ray, the ending, And the purple, right? That magic purple. The purple is a key to all of this. The purple is in the textiles. It's in the clothing. It's woman's manufacturing work. And the secret has been lost. We still don't understand its nature in the theriac. Only we know it was an ingredient in the theriac. Right? Interesting. Okay. We're going to do one final sortes. All right. Boccaccio, the Decameron. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Boccaccio? A groom lies with the wife of King Agliof, who learns the fact, keeps his own counsel, finds out the groom, and shears him. The shorn shears all his fellows, and so comes safe out of the scrape. Oh, wow. A groom lies with the wife of King Agliof, who learns the fact, keeps his own counsel, finds out the groom, and shears him. The shorn shears all his fellows, and so comes safe out of the scrape. We're seeing that power of the magician again, right? This is that Hermes energy on full display. It really makes me think of the story of Hermes stealing the cows from Apollo, which we know the cows of Apollo are women, are his mystical prophetesses, you know? And here we're seeing that on full display, this idea of him outwitting and coming in and being able to take and then take off. Oh, wow. Hermes is the energy of the day for sure. Wow. Okay. And of course, Hermes is related in the Vedic to Ganapati. So we're now going to do our Ganapati oracle. Wow. And Ganapati Ganesha is that God of the beginnings, the Lord of the threshold, the divine child. Inspire us, grant us the message. What do we need to know? And help our words get heard to those who need to hear. All right. Courage. Wow. Beautiful. And we see Ganapati on the lion, reminiscent of the goddess Durga, right? Amazing. Courage, the power to stand up and to have strength, right? The strength to pursue your will, the strength to go and take what, to believe that you can do what you want, you know, to make that leap, right? To take the risk. Have courage. Be strong. Beautiful. All right, we're now going to go to our tarot proper. Before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. If you hadn't yet, they really do make a big difference. It boosts everything in the algorithm, and I would truly love and appreciate it. And we're now going to start with the tarot of Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. And we are going to invoke that god Saturn Kronos and ask them to dissect our life, to cut it up, put it on the plate so that we can see our interconnections, examine our present, learn how we can best move and flow, how can we evolve, and how to best manifest our true will. And as always, the center card is our most important card. And today's center, the Empress, that divine mother in her absolute form, the feminine pure, right? Aphrodite Urania, that ascended goddess of the stars in her absolute perfection, and Aphrodite Pandemos, the lover of all creation, right? With no purity whatsoever. It represents the totality of that feminine. And this is about seeking that feminine in our life. When we see the Empress, we must strive for that mother energy, for that female energy. And we must seek out those women. And if we are women, we must embody that feminine energy. Or even if you're not, you know, it's a time to really think from this perspective, to embrace this mother energy and to see where it takes us, see where we're going. Wow. The universe, the ending of a cycle. This has been a theme, right? We're ending this cycle and we're giving birth to ourselves. We see that great mother, that goddess Persephone realized. She has now ascended the throne and become that queen. And she is now breaking this cycle and being reborn anew as she gives birth to Plutus and to wealth, right? Gives birth to Zagreus and starts a new set of creation. Zagreus, sorry. Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. What's happening on the other side? Futility. Hard energy, doubtful energy that we've been seeing a lot of, right? And it's still this energy of believing that we can't. What I'm seeing here is that this cycle is ending. We're connecting to this mother, right? We've embodying this energy. But we're still believing that there's some kind of, you know, this is that lingering doubt, that feeling that things maybe aren't as perfect as they are, you know. Look in the moment and be reasonable and see the beauty around you, right? Wow. Connected to this divine feminine, that Empress energy, we have the Princess of Discs, giving birth to this new child in that practical energy of the earth, right? That energy in its purest form, the earthiness of earth, right? And this is that child, that daughter that needs to be nurtured, that can grow and manifest, that can become that queen, that can become that knight or even the empress or emperor or more, right? Beautiful, proud, powerful energy. And in that earth, this is that building, creating, moving, manifesting in the physical, in the now, right? Wow. Connecting to that mother and the child. Beautiful energy. This is the fulfillment of that cycle, you know? Yeah. Faded energy, fortune energy, all is coming together as it should. Connecting to this princess of discs, this divine child, this manifestation of love, right? This child that needs to be nurtured and grown with, cared for. And this is your responsibility, and this is where your cycle is taking you. Beautiful. The sun. The sun is that 666, the absolute middle, the most beautiful card in the deck, that Apollo, Helios, Hecate energy realized, right? Pleasure and love and abundance and generation upon the earth, fulfillment in the now and in the present, right? Success, victory, pleasure, right? All manifesting, all fulfilling into this energy here. And it is a result of connecting to this child and nurturing her. And it is a result of this changing and adapting to the cycles of fortune. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. We have that luxury energy. So what I'm seeing here is part of this energy with this pursuit of the mother, pursuit of this child, is that we're finding ourselves in this state of comfort, you know, and it's hard to expand from this comfort, you know, but we need to embrace this mother energy. If we can embrace and pursue this divine feminine, we can give birth to this child and manifest the sun, right? We can accept our fate and rise to meet it, you know, but it requires us to overcome this moment, to transcend the comfort, right? To resist stagnation and to build upon this, right? This is secure energy, but it is energy that is not going anywhere. It needs to expand. It needs to grow. The floor is too closed, you know? We want to bring in that love that can give birth to that child, that can transform our world, you know? That's the completion of this cycle. Where is this going? Yeah. Yeah. Having the strength to draw down the star, to be that goddess, right? To do the hard work, to ride the beast, ascend the mountain, manifest your will, pull down the stars, right? To have the strength and power to transform that beast into the unicorn, you know? To flip the poles, to change reality, to manifest your dreams. Lust, strength, Lady Babylon herself. That's the energy that is needed to ascend from this moment, to get out of this comfort and stagnation, right? Realize your role, right? Manifest that strength and that will. Be that inspiration. Be that Queen of Wands. Wow. We have Lady Babylon. You have to have her partner in crime, right? You have to have Lucifer. The devil himself must be the parent. On either side, in harmony, bringing about that divine luxury that will give birth to this energy. Wow, this is beautiful, profound, intense, amazing, right? What is the devil, that Luciferian energy? But it is that power of the will to ascend the mountain and to be placed upon the stars, to get what you want and to manifest it in the real. That's ambition realized, right? Beautiful, profound energy. But you must be cautious with this energy. The devil gives you what you want. What do you want? When you see what you want that mother. You want that child. You want that happiness. This is what you pursue. That's what you go for. Transcend this foundation. Connect to that mother. Complete the cycle. Rise and meet your fortune. Give birth to the child to come and achieve that happiness, that sun. Wow. Okay. Before I flip, once again, please give me a like and a subscribe. And if you are at all interested in a private reading, please reach out to me, snappyddts@gmail.com, or you can message me, on the Discord. I'm hanging out on the Discord all the time. If you just want to chat, come hang out on the Discord. But get in touch if you'd like a reading. Okay? All right. Here we go. Let's take a full look. And this is our square. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. As this cycle ends, we become that Lady Babylon energy. We rise to draw down the stars and manifest our will, and we meet our fortune, and we ascend and rise upon the wheel. We meet this energy where we need to go, right? And we adapt and change and move and flow. Wow, and we continue to grow, having the strength to persevere and pursue our dreams. Beautiful. That mother energy, right? We have to build upon this luxury. We have to expand upon that loving connection and come into direct contact, into fulfillment with her, so that we can give birth to this child, right? That princess of discs, that earthiness of earth, right? That child that if you nurture can manifest in so many brilliant ways, that can give birth to so many opportunities. This can be a new job, a new business, a new child, right? The opportunities are here. It's about this creation, and this creation with this loving other from this feminine perspective, right? And recognizing that the mother has that power to nurture this child, to bring about this son. Beautiful. Wow. And the final one, what we see here is, peace and love and fulfilling our dreams. You have to believe it to manifest it. If you want this devil energy to work towards you and to be true, you have to believe it's possible. You have to accept it fully. You have to be connected to it. You have to overcome this essence of this futility. You have to see this future realized in your mind's eye, right? How do you ascend the mountain and manifest the sun? You envision that sun. You overcome this futility, right? And you do that through that passion, through reducing this 7 to a 6, so that it is that perfected reason that can bring you through that middle path, right? So that you can enter into the gates of the sun. 6 to 6 to 6. That's the key. Transforming futility to reason and pursuing that sun. Having this vision. When you ask the devil, when you envision yourself, when you pursue this will magic, you have to really imagine your future, who you are with, what you are doing, what you are creating. Imagine this child. Imagine this adaptation. Imagine this woman, Imagine being this profound goddess, Ascend the mountain. Wow. All right, let's do our crosses. This is fortune. This is fated. You were always going to pursue this feminine. You were driven to pursue this mother energy and to give birth to this child, this creation. This is something that is destined in many ways, right? And it is also about rising to that fortune. Because if you don't rise and meet this fortune, it will destroy you. Wow. Having that strength to pursue that divine feminine, to be that one who can draw down the stars, do the wish fulfillment, embody that ritual magic, have that temperance, have that energy of refinement, to connect to that mother and give birth to the son. Right? That's the message. Envision your dreams and ask for it. Then do the work and take it. And it's all about connecting to this mother, giving birth to this child, and manifesting the sun. Your golden age. Wow. And that's the ending of this cycle. Faded energy. You just have to overcome that doubt and that luxury. Wow. I hope that resonated with you. It certainly resonated with me. We're going to do one final message. And I think we're going to go back. Where did I put it? To Cosmogonic Eros, because I enjoyed that reading. Okay. Cosmogonic Eros, Ludwig Klages. All right. Muses, what is the message from Ludwig Klages? Inspire us. However, the closer the eye melts with the soul into the object of love, hardening its essence into a final and complete character, the more the risk grows that the torturous enigma of a personality will seize and captivate the inherent flash of vision. The symbol is replaced and the person is elevated to a god in place of the god. This is true idolization, and this preludes the tragedy of Eros. Destined to converge with the flame of the image, he now seeks for the image to no avail within the human self of the beloved. He wishes to adhere to a spiritual being and be sustained in the permanence of his existence, which only lives in the unshackled and liberating blaze of eternity, of the unknowable moment, of the unownable moment. Thus arises the pathos of great passion that forces lovers to vow fidelity unto death, to beyond death. Which metaphysically speaking always means catastrophe. For it leads to a pseudo-fulfillment of the bodily domain. It will sooner or later consume itself. But if the lovers are torn apart or profoundly betrayed, they will give their life without hesitation for their love. But no such heroic self-sacrifice alone can overcome all-powerful death. In spite of any dissimilarity here akin to the love of God, which, however, surpasses through its profound participation in the rites of Eros. Great passion also connects to beliefs in immortality, such that what is not realized here, it must hope to fulfill on the other side. Wow. So intense. I'm just going to finish this. But immortality is merely a delusional fulfillment of unfulfillable wishes, and the fate of the world, to which all humanity is but a drop in the ocean of time, strides on relentlessly, crushing the irredeemable lovers as well. The nimbus of sublimity that rightly envelops them must not blind us to the fact that they are execrated to leave life without escaping the self. And so we turn away from the uneasy image of tortured human grandeur back to the world-breathing brightness of the gods as conjured by the poet. What lights us the billows, what fiery wonder sets blazing their clashes and sparkling asunder? It lightens and wavers and brightens the height. The bodies they glow on the courses of night, and ringed is the whole by the luminous wall. May Eros then reign, who engendered it all. The paradox of love that perpetuates creation. All right. That deserves a hail, Satan. All right, everyone. Peace and love. Take care. And I hope to see you tomorrow for another live tarot session.